And welcome back to the Real Estate on the Cheap mini challenge. My name is Nev, and I am beyond thrilled that you are here. I hope that by now you have gotten a whole lot of value and a whole lot of ideas of how you can actually go in and make money through real estate without having to spend tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars without having to walk around, without having to rely on the real estate agents. And I hope that this is really exciting and opening your eyes for you. If this is your first time meeting me, hello, my name is Nev and I am your host. I have been doing this stuff for quite a few different episodes. And if this is the first one that you are stumbling upon, I highly encourage you to go back and start at the beginning because I find that just like any great movie, this also makes most sense when you start at the beginning as opposed to somewhere who knows where. So we're slowly but surely approaching the end of our challenge, but we're not done yet. We've spent a lot of time talking about the mindset and the different components in it. We talked about some of the money ideas and strategies and how you can turn this into not just a one-time cool thing that you can live in, although you can, but you can actually turn it not just into investment, but an actual full-blown business and how to start thinking about those strategies. Then we talked about the due diligence and where to find these deals. We've talked about what they are. Now I want to bring in something that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is if you decide that you're going to get into flipping these puppies, how do we do it? So let's talk about it. Because if you were just going in to actually buy properties, great. You just buy them, you have them, good for you, done. But if you're saying, well, I might actually want to sell it at some point, and what are some of my options? Option number one is work with a realtor. That's always an option. However, please do note if it's a lower priced property, it might cost you a whole lot more money than just 3 to 7% commission. The reason for that is that they, yes, will work on a commission. However, if it's below a certain price threshold, you might be looking at having to pay a minimum of $1,000 to $5,000, which if you are selling something, if you bought it for 2,000, you're selling it for five, and you have to pay a commission of $1,000, it's not becoming as profitable, is it? So, but it is an option out there for you. The next one, which is what many people take, is to sell it by yourself. For sale by owner. Of course, there's a website that does that, but you don't have to list it over there. You can put it on Craigslist. You can list it on Zillow. You can list it on Trulia. You can even use eBay. But here's another piece to also pay attention to. While you can do all of that, well, Facebook Marketplace, I guess, is also an option. While you can do all of that, and there's nothing wrong with it, do keep in mind that you're also likely asking a stranger to give you a hefty sum of money in order for them to obtain a property. Now, if you are just starting out and you don't have as many clients and you're, of course, needing to do different things, there's going to be some contractual pieces that you need to do, such as purchase sale contract. Your attorney or an attorney can actually help you with that stuff. You probably also may or may not want to register business. It's up to you to make those decisions. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just sharing thoughts and ideas to consider if you are going down this path and direction. The part that you need to understand is that if I am, say, a buyer and you are a seller, you're asking me to pony up, say, $10,000 for something that you're going to sell to me. Well, we get into a trust piece. If I don't know you, now if we're friends and I know you, and that's a different thing. But if I'm just reading an ad on Craigslist and I'm calling you and you're saying, oh, send me $10,000 to account 123456, and I promise I will send you the deed to this house. It's kind of like that Prince in Nigeria, whatever emails that we get, right? Like few people might go for it. Most people are like, this is scammy. I don't think so. So here is where escrow comes to play. Now, escrow is basically a third neutral party where I will give my money into, right? And they will hold the money. You, as the seller, you know that there's money there, right? And now you will actually transfer the deed, the escrow will see it, and once I get my deed, you get your money, done deal. Because the problem without dealing with escrow, again, I have to trust you and send you the money in the hopes that you will send me a deed. What if I send you the money and you don't send me a deed? Now I just got scammed, right? So that's the reason why some people are like, I don't think so. I like doing purchase sale agreements because at least it gives some sort of legal reprieve to the party if they feel they're injured. And I do not anticipate nor do I recommend you injuring them in any way whatsoever. So make sure you pay attention to the legal contracts and see if that makes sense for you. The other part is if I am a buyer and I'm saying, well, why don't you first give me the deed and I'll send you the money? We're like, I don't think so. Like, I give you the deed, you will never pay me. How does that work? I don't feel comfortable with that. I also understand that. So you might also be prepared that if you don't use escrow, you might not actually get a deal. You might lose some deals from it. So part is you need to be a trustworthy individual, not just play one on internet, but actually be a trustworthy individual and a person of your word. So that's number one. Number two is utilize escrow. But here's the piece you need to understand with escrow. Escrow will typically charge you a small portion, a small fee, which can range anywhere between 1 and 3%, sometimes a little bit higher, but typically not less than 1% on the transfer or the purchase price. Now, and they do that a lot with the properties. However, if we're dealing with a property that is, say, 200, 300, $400,000, that's not a problem. But if you have purchased the property for $2,000 and you want to sell it for, say, $10,000, like we threw out in one of the previous examples, the escrow company that deals with real estate is not going to make enough money for them to be worthwhile spending any energy to help you out. They will likely say no to you, or they will charge you way more than 1 to 3%, and they might require a few $1,000s, again, making it not very lucrative for you to do business with them. The second option is that there might be other companies that do escrow, might not be real estate escrow, that deal with smaller ones. The challenge with those is the vast majority of them don't want any real estate deals. Now what? Well, you're kind of stuck. You can go without escrow. Again, please note that it's going to be much more challenging. The third option, the option that I actually really, really like, is utilizing blockchain technology to help solve some of these problems. While I still might go out and market my deals on Zillow and Facebook Marketplace and eBay and whatever else, right? Like I can think of Craigslist, whatever. I will use blockchain technology to take the property that I have that I want to sell. I'm going to upload it to the blockchain. And then I'm going to list it out for sale. And I'm going to use that link to share out when I talk about it in different aspects so that people can go through it. Now, particular one that I like, and the first and only one that I know of, is called House. The link for it is down in the description below, and I recommend you check it out. Pretty cool, if I may say so myself. In a full disclosure, it is something that I have actually built and created, and I built it and created it to solve my own problem. My own problem was very similar to what I was just explaining. The realtors were too expensive. The escrows wouldn't take the smaller deals. So in order to solve it, I came up with a solution utilizing technology that we have today known as blockchain. It is built on Ethereum blockchain. It is live on mainnet and basically allows me to take my property, upload it onto the blockchain, list it up for sale, and then allow the individuals who want to purchase it to be able, of course, to contact me, and we can still exchange contracts and chat about stuff and be able to connect. But it also has a built-in smart escrow, which basically locks in the buyer's funds, so I know the funds are there. I'm going to go in and do my deal, send them over the deed, and the moment they get a deed, I also get paid and it gets resolved. Everybody is happy. That is a solution that I have been working on, trying to build. And the moment that the blockchain came in, I said, I got to learn how to do this, implement it into this to help me out with my business. Of course, if you get into the escrow, you can back out. There's a penalty fee for that. And both the buyer and the seller have an ability to get out. However, they will be penalized to do it. The purchases and the sales are done in three different cryptos. You can choose which one makes or the buyer actually chooses which one makes the most sense for them. So the property can be purchased in Ethereum, or Ether, I guess. It can be purchased with DAI, or you can be purchased with USDC. So we have two stable coins, and of course the blockchain native for Ethereum, because it just makes sense to do it. The moment that the purchase is done, it transfers the hands, and of course the deed goes. You send them a deed. Now they have the NFT slash the digital representation of the property. They also get a deed, and you get paid. If you get paid in crypto and you don't want to keep that one, well, it's pretty simple to go to any exchange and trade it for something that you want, as well as be able to actually convert it into the US dollars and rinse and repeat. Part of your crypto, you might decide that you're going to not take all of it, and as the platform grows and develops and get more, you might decide to keep some in it to be able to purchase it for crypto. So I hope this is exciting to you, and that you can see how there's multiple things that are being solved for you. Now, we've covered a lot of stuff. We've had quite a few different videos here in this challenge. So the ultimate challenge to you is, if you're willing to accept it, is to watch all of the videos, do all of the homework, go and find these properties out there, go out into an auction and bid for it, or even just go and sit at an auction, even if you don't bid for it. And when you're ready to sell, if you want to utilize the blockchain technology, I invite you to utilize Session Crypto House. You will get a discount code below for the process. So when you go in and register, make sure you do it pretty soon, even if you don't have a property right now, because it's not going to last for forever. And I want to make sure that you get discounts on the upload costs. They're super low to begin with, but nonetheless, I think any pennies, any dollars you can save, it's always good, because it goes towards your investment fund, meaning you can go in and invest in this. I do want to thank you so much for joining me for this. If this was too quick and you need more detail, more hand holding, more information about where and how to do this, and you're a type of person that learns, remember we talked about how do you learn? If you're a type of person that learns from watching, from listening, and from reading, and most of us learn the best by doing all three, and you need extra support, extra guidance, extra things to get you started, then I invite you to join for the full-blown Real Estate on the Cheap Challenge course. It's much longer. We go into way more depth than this. And again, you will receive a special link right down below, because you watched all of this and came on this channel. There's a special link where you can get it for a fraction of the actual cost. Remember, we talked about the price versus value. And I always look for things that don't cost as much as the value that I get. The question that I have for you is, are you willing to accept the challenge to put in a little bit of time, a little bit of money, in order to create a perfect business, life, income, or whatever else you want to create? It's just in a moment in time. And my question is, are you up for a challenge to go from wherever you are to wherever you want to go? If the answer is yes, I am delighted to help you out. And I thank you so much for joining me for this 100% free challenge. Until next time, stay forever money blessed. And do remember, you are only one deal away.